Ladies and gentlemen, we are here today. Welcome to Toon'd In with Jim Cummings. Today, we have a very special treat. An old buddy of mine and a bodacious actor.
You don't mind if I
You
laugh
know
my
him, you
ass
love
off.
him, you can't live without him. And the crowd went wild for Ron Perlman.
How about that, huh?
Thank you. Thank you so very much for being here.
That's my pleasure, bro.
You know, it's we go a way back. We go
Way
a little
back.
way back, and I remember it like it was yesterday. And it was okay. Actually, I don't remember much, but I do remember yesterday, and you weren't there. However, it was great because I walk in, and there's this incredible actor that everybody loves, including me. And I'm getting to hang out with him because we're doing a TV show called Bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was you, and then Rita Moreno was sitting across the room,
right,
and I'm going,
that's right.
"Are you kidding me?" Wait, and I'm pinching myself, you know. And I've dug you from In the Name of the Rose, and in the Father and of the Son and the Holy Spirit, Amen.
Spiritu Sanctu.
Spiritu Sanctu.
That used to be my stage name, Spiritu Sanctu. Just call me Spir.
He's the human spear. And why did they call? No. But
I joke.
Yeah, you joke professionally.
Well, no, not really. As you'll find out as we go on here. No one would pay me for this shit.
Well, I'll have what he's having, but no, it was incredible, and of course I think one of your big boosts would have been the Beast.
Yeah, this
Am I
was
right?
post Beast.
Yeah, roast beast,
Yes, this was
like Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. You know, it's funny when you talk about, you know, everybody's reaction to somebody walking into the room and you know, whatever, you know, the moment of recognition. And I've never, it's always the absolute other shoe on the other foot for me. Like, I walked into that room feeling like I'm a tin horn. I've never done a voice in a cartoon before. I'm walking into a world I'm unfamiliar with. Nobody knows who the fuck I am. And I'm looking around, and, you know, the obvious, you know, like, big shiny object, of course, is Rita Moreno, because
sure.
everybody knows who she is. Mm-hmm. So I'm like going, oh, my God, I'm not the only one that, like, you know,
Yeah.
like, you know, has figured out, like, okay, maybe cartoons is going to be the way I go for the rest of my career.
Yeah.
But I just told a story with you, Jim, a second ago as we were getting ready to roll here. Andrea Romano was the director of that thing, and you were playing Bonkers and another role. Mm-hmm. So you were
a couple.
You played two of the lead roles, but anybody who was anybody in voiceover world, cartoon world, was in that room.
Yeah,
and
we're doing pretty good.
And it was one of those beautiful experiences where you record it, you know, in real time with the entire cast present,
Yes.
rather than coming in individually,
Yes.
which is how sometimes you do it. So I got a chance to sit there and be part of an ensemble and listen to what everybody else was doing. And at the very end of the session, I went up. Everybody had kind of dispersed and left, and I was kind of like so blown away that I couldn't really move, and I was the last one out of the room. And I walked up to Andrea Romano, the director, and I said, "Who do I pay?" She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, this was the most entertained I've ever been in my life. This was my mind-blowing, like the talent that I just watched just throw shit away. There's got to be a cover charge." And she thought that was kind of amusing.
Yeah, but she still took you $50.
And she said, and also, no, we don't validate. So
okay.
you can pay the parking attendant. When
I said, I'll validate. Here, let me validate you. You're a hell of a nice guy. Get out of here.
Yeah. Here's a second opinion. You're ugly, too.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Oh, Jesus.
So that was our first day of meeting each other. And I'm such a fanboy for real, like, inexplicable talent. Like that was
too.
You guys who do that. All I could think of was, you have to be the most unsung heroes of creating entertainment that there are, because you're most of the time exclusive to that world. You don't, and so you're just a voice. You're faceless most of the time.
Yes,
and yet the creativity, the inventiveness, the genius way of approaching a role, and for me, my favorite kind of acting is seat of your pants and going for the performance on take one, which is what you are charged to do when you're doing voices.
Right,
especially
that's
in a
right.
cartoon. You go as big as you can. You go for the result. You go for the performance. And I'm in the room with the people who do that as good as anybody I'd ever seen. So I mean, I was just floored and awed. And every time I see you and all those guys, Maurice LaMarche and Rob and all those guys that I go back all that way with, my heart goes all aflutter, because you guys are just amazing actors.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
And so in touch with your all these
Inner and outer child.
Yeah, but being an actor, you have to access parts of yourself that most people don't ever have a chance to even explore them or know that it
it's
exists.
there. Yeah,
we're always digging down. And boy, am I rambling?
No. But I really feel what you're saying there. It's interesting because I remember. You just reminded me of it. We'd always do a read through, and they would, and Andrea or whoever it would perfect the voice. Well, yeah. Oh, this guy's not from Brooklyn. I think he's from Montgomery, Alabama, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, okay. So we do this and that, and you paid me one of the coolest compliments. I don't want to sound self-aggrandizing here, but we did the read through, and you said to me something to the tune of, do you go this hard when it's not rolling? And I said, I couldn't, and it never occurred to me that I was overdoing it or not overdoing it, but, giving it. And I said, I don't think I know any other way, and you said, so it's everyone's the Super Bowl. And I go, yeah, I think it is.
I said that?
Yeah, something very
I
similar.
think you're confusing me with Tony Roberts or something.
No. Ooh, wait a minute, no. I was so taken with that, and I loved it.
That's kind of like, I don't know how to, go halfway, which is why I'm one of these guys that
what's the
really,
point?
even when I'm shooting in front of the camera, let's shoot the rehearsal. Let's start shooting immediately, because the first thing that comes out is going to be the most unjudged performance you're going to give. It's going to be
instincts are the best stinks.
It's going to be instincts are what?
Instincts are the best stinks.
Yes, that's so true. I wish I had said that, and I will on my next podcast, coming to you live from high atop the. Anyway, no,
I'm the fifth floor.
I like taking that very, very first reaction that I have to what I'm reading on the page, and now I'm having to, embody it, channel it, or whatever, and see what happens. And very often it's wrong, but sometimes it's really, really it's not going to get any better than that. Which is why I like to shoot the rehearsal. Which is why I was the minute I got introduced to the cartoon world, and the giving these pure voice performances where you don't have to worry about anything. There's no vanity involved.
Makeup, that's for sure.
There's just performance and and there's a kind of an invitation to be entertaining. We're not playing Louis Pasteur.
Yeah, that's right.
We are not curing anything here. We're not looking for a humanitas award or anything.
Right.
We're just Saturday morning.
Yeah.
We're just trying to fuck up the minds
Doing arm
of,
parts,
of,
arm
of,
parts
of, of the next generation.
Yeah, that's right. God, I'm going to carve that into stone. That's so true.
And we
but you're
succeed
right.
so much of the time, fucking up these little kids. Like they'll never be the same after that.
Yeah.
That ought to hold the little bastards.
Yeah. Okay, now, Super Sales?
Oh, my God.
Wasn't that him who said that?
No, actually, there was a movie that predated Soupy Sales, but Soupy Sales was kind of like the new incarnation of what I'm about to share with you.
Oh, okay.
And they made a movie of this thing. It was called Face in the Crowd with Andy Griffith. It was actually a movie that was directed by Elia Kazan, the guy who did like Streetcar Named Desire and On the Waterfront. Face in the Crowd. And he played this kind of country boy who was always getting in trouble, and he was in jail. And he just starts, playing guitar and talking and giving all this local knowledge, and he's as charming could be. And somebody walks through the jail and hears him and decides to give him a morning radio show. And he instantaneously becomes the hottest thing in America. And he becomes a star, which turns him into, he was always kind of like nefarious, but success takes the nefarious and pumps it up to a volume where it's not just harmless, it's megalomaniacal. And that's what this movie is. It's a study of this guy. His character in the movie is Lonesome Rhodes, and he's based on a real guy.
Lonesome Rhodes, that was his name?
He was based on a real guy who had been on the chain gang, and he went from jail to jail to jail, but he was as funny as fuck.
Oh, wow.
And as charming, and the women loved him, and he used to get on early, daytime stuff on the radio.
Lead Belly was that.
And then he got so successful that he had so much weight to throw around at the network that he became a monster, a complete monster. And he said after he had done this real homespun kind of show where he's just giving recipes and talking about what's going to happen at the next church social and everything like that. And he gets done with the broadcast and he says that ought to hold the little bastards. And his engineer kept the mic open because he wanted to show the world what a fucking monster this was. Ooh. And he went down the drain from that moment on when everybody realized this guy is completely full of shit.
Wow. So
it was one of the, go see it. It's a phenomenal, and it made Andy Griffith a star. It's called Face in the Crowd, Elia Kazan. It's as underrated a movie as you're ever going to find. Patricia Neal was the girl who discovers him, and then
Patricia Neal,
and then becomes, she rues the day that she made him a star because she watches him become this,
monster,
the most objectionable human you could be.
Oof. See, that's what showbiz will do to you.
Well, yeah, but it's a wonderful cautionary tale.
Cautionary tale, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, jeez. Well, I'm
Lonesome
just sitting over
Rhodes.
here in the cheap seats.
Mm-hmm.
I will check that out, though.
Yeah.
You have your assignment. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize we were filming this.
Oh, yeah,
I should have given you my good side, but then I don't have one. So
yeah, that's right.
Here we go. Just take it.
My good side is when I'm out of the room and the cameras are going.
Yeah.
You said something that made me think of a question for both of you. How do you think you've changed becoming famous? Like, how do you think fame has changed you, or has it as a person?
I swear to God, I'm not being coy or saying this for effect or being disingenuous in any way, shape, or form. I am incapable of thinking of myself as famous. I am. If anything, it's the opposite. If anything, it's like this guy who nobody knows, who's obscure, who never got to that level that one dreams of when one dreams about fame and money and success and all that stuff in this business. I've always felt like I'm an outsider looking in, and I always give all the credit to everyone else. Like, you know, I know what a genius Jim Cummings is. I have zero sense about that, about myself, and I never have. And I'm conscious of the fact that I've done very well in the business, and I'm conscious of the fact that I have standards that make me, you know, not behave like some newbie on the set. You know, like I know what I'm doing. But that's different than celebrity or fame, which is what the question you're asking me.
Yeah.
Yes, have I developed a lot of confidence as somebody who feels like I know what I'm doing in the business, and when I'm on the set or whatever it is I'm doing, or, you know, where I'm having to give a performance. Absolutely, much more so than back in even 10 years ago, but way more so than when it all started, where I had zero self-esteem and zero confidence whatsoever. But I don't consider myself, you know, George Clooney's famous. I'm a schlepper.
I get what you're saying.
And in my mind, and you know, and I know it's a kind of dysmorphia of a certain kind, because, you know, people go, get the fuck out of here, man. Of course you're famous. You know?
I mean, we're just in the lobby, and like, you know, 2 out of the 4 people in there.
Half of them. And the other 2 were going, do you know who that is? Look, he's leaving now. You know, so that's kind of cool.
But that's just part of my fucked up, you know, wiring.
All right.
Yeah.
Same question for you, Jim. How do you feel? Do you feel as if you've changed when you started getting notoriety, when you started getting fame, and people are coming up, taking pictures, people are crying when they hear your voices?
Yeah, well, that's different. Yeah. I don't even know what to think about that, because it's impossible for me to think of. The first thing I think of is, well, you flunked math in 8th grade, and then in 9th grade, and then, you know, and I ended up taking business math my sophomore year in high school twice, because you had to have that math. And Lord knows we all used that high school diploma. I mean, without that high school diploma, I would have never been here.
It's covering up a hole in the wall that I punched one day.
Yeah. So, you know, it's of dubious worth. I mean, I always say that the best lessons I learned were in the hall, you know, when I got kicked out of class for doing those weird voices and everything. And I still remember, I don't know if this is within the realm of the answer, but having a guy who remained nameless is Jim Maughan, Maughan. He's remaining nameless. And he slammed me up against the wall, and he goes, look, you think you're Mr. Cute and Mr. this and that, and you're so, all these voices, all these, what the heck? Let me tell you something. You're going to end up just like your cousins. He knew, he used to date my cousin. You're going to end up working at the Youngstown Sheet and Tube until you're 65. Then you're going to retire. Then you're going to drink Budweiser and lose money on the Browns or maybe the Pirates. I don't know. But you're going to lose money. And you're going to be sitting there, and you're going to be there, and then you're going to die. I said, oh, well, I guess I can go home now. I mean, should I just kill myself? And I remember thinking that I'm going to live long enough to make you eat those words. And that, you know, I've always been a negative encouragement guy.
Me too.
You know,
and you know, that's the one thing where, like, oh yeah, well, you know, I mean, I can remember some of the earliest meetings I went to. You know, it took me so many years of going to regular school because I wanted to kill time, because I was terrified of actually saying, okay, I'm a professional actor, I'm going to start trying to do this. And when I finally did it, I got nothing but disrespect and negative reinforcement. And like one casting director actually said, what makes you think you deserve to be here? She actually asked me that kind of question, like, don't you, you know, it's almost like, don't you realize you're wasting everybody's time? And if you're if you're somebody who's never been validated professionally, and that's the only feedback you get, that's suicidal, man. I mean, that's devastating because that becomes, oh, is that what they're seeing? They're seeing a guy who really just shouldn't even bother.
Wow. Yeah.
But at the same time, there was that, like, luckily there was that part of me that went, really? Really? Well, I guess I'm going to have to show you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we all got the bug, performing bug,
Early.
because we did it and we were successful at it. In other words, even if it was like a junior high school play or a high school play, high school is when I did my very first play. And when I did that first play, the feedback was through the roof positive. So even though that casting director didn't see it, I knew there's something I'm holding in reserve here. Maybe it's not coming out in a commercial setting. Maybe, like when you're trying to cast One Life to Fucking Live, because that's, like, look what you're doing, bitch.
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead, sit up on your ivory tower and piss down on me because you can. But you really, like, you have to use that that indignation and that, like, no, I know there's something in there that's worth sharing. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've felt it. I've seen it happen. And I don't know how long it's going to take or what it's going to take or whether I have what it takes to stick it out. There was so much of that coming up in New York. So much time with no validation whatsoever. That you got to reach back and find some reserves that are going to get you through those times. And, I'm just really, really lucky that nothing was devastating enough to make me give up.
Knock, knock.
Yeah, exactly. Who's there? Hello.
Hello.
Come in.
Yes. Oh,
Enter.
Man. And enter. That's right.
Yeah. I've heard show business described as a battle of attrition, just the older you get, the more you kind of miss out on things that your peers are doing, and they're starting families and whatever they're doing, and when you're in this industry, would you guys agree that, like, you kind of, the longer you hold on to that and the more you work at it, do you think it really does increase your chance of success?
I feel like no, I mean, there are so many other factors, and I have to say luck has a lot to do with it, because one of the most heartbreaking things for me was watching some of the people I started out with that did fold up their tent and get out of it, and watching them make that decision, like, I'm not doing this anymore. This is like banging my head against the wall. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And they all ended up taking civilian jobs. And it was heartbreaking because I saw their talent, and it just, they didn't get the breaks. Things didn't break their way enough so that they could be just encouraged enough to give it another day, another week, and another month, etc.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really lucky. I had just those enough crumbs to sustain me through the really, really rough times, and say, okay, here's a little bit of encouragement. Maybe I can parlay that into something.
Yeah. Would you agree, though, that with the statement that luck is being prepared for the moment?
Well, was it Leo DeRocha?
For opportunity or something like that, yeah.
Who was it?
I'm not
couldn't
sure
have been
who
a
said
baseball manager, but I think they credit this quote to, I think, maybe Leo DeRocha, who a manager of the Dodgers, who said, luck is the residue of design. And the harder you work, the luckier you're going to get.
Right.
The more you insist on not being, what's the word I'm looking for? Thrown away.
Dispensable?
Yeah, dispensed with. What's the verb for dispensable?
Dispense?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The more you insist on not succumbing to being dispensed, the luckier you're going to get, because you're kind of putting yourself in a position to get lucky by just being there.
Yeah.
And it may take 50 times to get lucky once, but if you get lucky once, and you know, that could be the key to everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the other old expression, you know, it took me 20 years to become an overnight success, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Phew. Yeah, why were we doing this again? Oh,
Yeah.
it's too late now. We're stuck.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're too late.
And I'm at this point now, and I'm just looking here at Jim, and, you know, I'm almost, when I see my friends who are able to look back and have all these things to be proud of, makes me very emotional, because I know what they've been through. I know what they had to, I know how many of those moments they had to go through where they were getting nothing back that was encouraging, and they had to supply it on their own. And
Yeah,
so
that's right.
And then I see that they are now, you know, I'm 73 years old, and, you know, I know what a body of work feels like, you know, like okay, there's a body of work there. There's something you can actually look at. If I never work again, I just, you know,
Yeah.
there's something you can point to. And I see that with guys like Jim and some of the other guys that
Absolutely.
hung in there and have a tremendously prideful body of work that they can
Yeah.
look to. And it's really moving to me. It's really like, because I understand what it took, what it cost to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Well said.
It's not for the faint of heart.
No.
Yeah.
But it's like an addiction, you know. It's like I'm never going to get the kind of highs that I get from when I'm on that set or in that sound booth creating Bonkers, just a cartoon character. But I'm creating, you know.
Right.
And it gets a response.
Yeah.
It plays on television or it plays in the movies, and people go, "Hey, I just saw that thing you did. Man, that was fucking awesome," you know? So it's like not just an exercise, not just a wank. It's like it's cause effect, you know, and
Yeah.
it has
Well, it
an effect
resonates
on the
with
world.
people.
Yeah. And that's another thrill of it all too, is like to just see, like, you know, it's like a mathematical equation without the actual product getting out there and generating a response. It's not a full equation, you know.
Yeah.
But when it
Yeah, you're right.
when it reaches that final, you know, that anyway.
Which is the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great way of looking at it. That's very well said, actually.
Thank you.
That's not bad.
You're welcome to use that.
I'm going to write it soon.
Okay. I hope you do, because I'm never going to remember anything I'm saying right now.
Well, I'll have what he's having or had or whatever. Anyway, I'm with you. I'm with you, man.
Yeah. That's really inspiring, because
Truly.
Yeah, that really is.
You know, Chris is an actor, so he knows.
It's and you know, I'm reticent to say this because it's not the first time I've said it publicly, but we all start out acting for a set of reasons, and I think the longer you do it, the more those reasons transform and shift into other reasons.
Well, that's for sure. Yeah,
Like, and
that's a great observation, actually.
the reason why I say that is because when I first discovered acting, it was the antidote to being me. Like, being me, I was disastrous. You know, I was like a schmuck. I was a putz. I didn't fit anywhere. I had tremendously low esteem. But I played a character, and I had a shot at getting the character right, even though everything else in my life was wrong. So it was pure therapy. It was like walking into somebody else's shoes, which was kind of like a relief from the drudgery of being me. And it was also like a high. It was like, this is as close as I'm going to get to a human that's sort of bordering on perfect. Even though it's an illusion, it's like a character I'm playing, and then I go home at night and it's over. So what started out as a tremendously therapeutic endeavor was transforming myself into something that wasn't me. Over the course of time, as you get more and more comfortable with yourself, but you still find like I'm still getting a thrill out of acting, then you have to start exploring like, why do I still dig it? And I'm at this point now where I feel as though the amount of admiration that we all receive as part of the storytelling community from people who really do have shitty lives, but who get to watch something beautifully well performed, and they see humanity there, and they see suffering there. That's enacted in a beautiful way. But they get to see that, they're not the first people to feel lonely. They're not the first people to feel like losers. They're not the first people to feel like they're in an insurmountable situation. They don't know how they're going to get out of it, but they watch the hero journey in a movie or something like that, and it gives them hope. So what we're doing is we're providing humanity with as noble an expression of the beauty of what it is to be human as there is.
Yeah.
And if that sounds corny, then I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize. But that's truly that's what sustains me now, is that I realize I'm in a very, very exclusive, wonderful club where I get to work in some kind of an incredible world that some amazing writer has invented, with amazing humanity all over the place, and I get to be one of the colors on the painting by playing this one character. And if we do it successfully, and we do it well, and it gets lucky enough to get marketed properly, and enough people see it, and it affects them, then I'm performing as useful a service as one can, because the collective consciousness is our only hope at rising to the prayer of all men are created equal and endowed by their creator with life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what we're doing. We are
celebrating that.
In our endeavor to tell stories and show humanity in all of its, many, many different highs and lows. We are participating in an exercise of the collective consciousness, which is as valuable to somebody in Kenya as it is to somebody in Alabama, because it resonates on the same human level. And
wow,
I didn't really. Sorry, I didn't expect to go there, but
that was pretty
no,
intense.
that was great.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's a beautiful
that's awesome.
sentiment. Yeah,
so
really is. I want to sing Kumbaya now.
go ahead.
Okay, Kumbaya. I don't even know what that means, but I know it meant that somebody
don't
said
think
something that
anybody
was
does.
really, really touching and really heartfelt and really well thought, well considered. Thank you. That's pretty awesome.
Pleasure.
Yeah,
That's
man,
good stuff.
I'm a very, very lucky dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I think that's one of the keys to happiness is gratitude. If you ever, there's no way that you run into somebody going, well, I should have got that job. I mean, geez, now I'm working for the asshole who took my job and blah, blah, blah. Well, you're not going to be very happy because you're not great. You should be grateful for having that job and then be good enough that when this guy gets promoted, you'll get his job. It's all perspective. Perspective is our friend.
Yeah.
Or and it can be our enemy. So if, it's God, there's a million cliches that come to mind, but it's true.
Yeah.
You know, and now we're being invaded.
Yeah, there's the
And,
Hollywood biker gang.
Yes. Is this friends of yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's my ride.
Is that your ride home? Okay. Good night, everybody.
Obviously, they're a little early.
They're a little early.
Those were the Sons of Sunset.
Yeah, the Sons of Sunset. Where was that filmed, by the way?
Now,
was all in-
now I'm my new club is the Sons of Arthritis.
Oh, the Sons of... Gosh, I think I'm joining that club.
I saw somebody with the leather cut. You know, the motorcycle clubs guys said Sons of Arthritis, so it wasn't original, guys.
Oh, Jesus.
Throwing myself under the bus. But yes, Sons of Anarchy was supposed to take place up in northern Cali, up around the Bay Area. But we shot it all here.
Oh,
That's the miracle of television.
yes, it is. And it looked like Canada, which was really amazing.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wrap your mind around that one, huh?
Yeah. Oh, man.
We managed to pull that off.
Well, that's beautiful.
No, but yeah. It was a great experience, and I got to sleep in my own bed, so win-win.
That counts.
It sure does.
That really counts. Oh, man.
Did you guys have any idea going into it how big of a show that was going to be?
No.
No.
In fact, the other side of the coin from all that kumbayaing I was just doing a second ago is that I'm also completely wired for failure. Because...
You too, huh?
Yeah. No, because, obscurity
you're
and
you're
failure.
not good at failing, by the way. I can.
No.
You're terrible at it.
You have no idea. If you look at my IMDb, there's like over 200 entries, and only 3 or 4 of them were successful. But those 3 or 4 of them were what people remember. So,
Yeah.
but they didn't see the other 232 that really stunk out the joint. And it wasn't as if you went into any of those thinking you were going to stink out the joint. That's the way it went.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many ways. There's so many amazing things have to happen in order for something to be really, really good and perfect and break through and be regarded as a classic or as
A
something
lot of moving parts.
successful. And the longer you do this, the more you realize how rare that is. And so what I do now is I just expect everything to fail. I have, one of the great realizations I made in order to protect my thin skin is like, no expectations, no disappointments. And if you expect nothing, you're never going to be disappointed. Because if something good does happen, then it's a complete pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, no. I mean, I went into Sons of Anarchy thinking this is going to be one and done. We're lucky they got that far. This is too special. It's too weird. It's too unlike anything anybody's ever seen before. And Hollywood is not known for breakthrough, original content stuff.
Especially not these days.
So that's. And then there was so much violence and so much bloodshed toward the middle of season 1 that people wanted more. And that's when I realized
that people wanted more.
Yeah, that's when I realized. Okay, that's the function we serve.
Yeah, there you go. Not a Norman
Mayhem,
Rockwell
men
painting.
of mayhem.
Oh man. Well, you hope for the best, you expect the worst, and you take what comes.
Exactly. And
I mean,
when you really, really do have no expectations, or you think this is never going to fly, when it doesn't, you're good. You're
You were there.
Yeah, you were.
You beat it.
And we're all doing the best we can, but there's just too many other factors that need to go right in order for things to resonate.
Now, this is a funky question because I've had, and I remember it because I've been asked it any number of times, but was there something you really, really, really wanted and then they gave it away? Somebody else?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there were.
Yeah.
I blocked all that out, though.
You too?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's my answer.
Yeah, because you got to survive.
Because there has
man.
to be.
You gotta-
Yes.
No, there's.
Damn.
there's
Okay.
Just,
I feel better now.
Oh my God, yeah.
What was yours,
Because
Jim?
no, it's like, well, I can't remember him. I block him out. No, just what he said.
Yeah.
It was like, were there things I auditioned for, really, really wanted, didn't get? Yeah, what are they? Oh hell, I don't know.
Yeah.
But because I got enough that I didn't think I was going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, briefly, and back in 84, 80, 85, doing the original auditions, I thought I crushed Eeyore. I was going to be Eeyore. Thanks for noticing me. Pretty good Eeyore. What do you think, America? And my agent calls me up. She goes, well, I have bad news. I mean, I have some good news, but. And I said, all right, what's the bad news? What's the bad news? She goes, you're not Eeyore. I go, you're kidding me. Who the hell's Eeyore? They go, Peter Cullen, Optimus Prime, and the man mountain of the business. I go, well, you know what? You lose to Peter Cullen, it's okay. I probably wouldn't do well against Mike Tyson either. So it's okay. And I said, so what did I get? She goes, well, you're Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. I go, screw Eeyore. Hell with him. You're sure on both of them? She goes, yeah. So, you take those little serendipitous moments, and you never know. You never know.
I was doing, did we mention this earlier? We talked about this prior to when we came on the air. But the last show I did on stage was I came in and replaced Stephen Lang in A Few Good Men on Broadway. And while I was performing it, that show was such a huge success that Hollywood started coming to call. So while I was on stage, Rob Reiner came one night to see it. And then a couple of nights later, Rob came with Tom Cruise to see it.
Wow.
And then the rumor started flying. Hollywood is going to make the movie. Rob Reiner is going to direct it. Tom Cruise is going to star in it. And I wrote Rob Reiner a letter saying, well, I know you saw me play Colonel Jessup and in this thing, and this piece of material means so much to me, and blah blah blah. And I know my odds are crazy, but I just want to put it out there, if there's any way you could consider me for this role. And it went to Jack Nicholson. And I wrote another note to Rob, and I said, I get it, man. He needs the work so much more than I do.
Yeah.
But that was, I finally remembered one that, I kind of wanted and fell by the wayside.
Yeah.
And also anything in the world that you see Josh Brolin in should have gone to me.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that.
He's my nemesis these days.
Oh, that's fair.
But I'm losing to better people than I ever thought I would.
I'm losing to better people than I ever thought I would.
Did you audition for Thanos?
Well, there was a thing that went on, on social media for what's the character in Deadpool that got introduced in the second Deadpool?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
not
Josh Brolin. I can't remember his
It went to Josh, but he wasn't even in the fucking survey.
Yeah.
Really?
Me and about 5 other people in the survey, and I got 150 times more votes than anybody else because of Cable. It was the role of Cable.
Cable. That's right.
Cable, yeah.
With the bionic arm.
Josh Brolin. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, enough.
Can you imagine my Cable? I mean, no disrespect, Josh, if you're listening to this podcast, which I know you are.
That's right. You're fooling no one.
You're fooling no one.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's good stuff.
Sure is.
Whatever it is, I
Yeah.
said it. I said it. God damn it, I'm sticking to it.
That's right. Oh man, oh man. Are you on the circuit nowadays? Are you heading? You got a lot lined up, right? On the
Well, as we speak, we're still on strike. So
Yes.
the amount, but
Fair enough.
but I'm always I produce a lot, and
Oh, really?
I always have little projects that I'm trying to push up the mountain. You know, whether we're striking or not. So yeah, I stay very, very busy promoting some of my own ideas and some of the things that I'd love to see get made. And I've been really, really lucky over the last few years. You know, just a lot of work coming my way. Even during the strike, some of these independent films, of which I do a lot, have been greenlit because they've signed this interim agreement, which allows for you, if SAG approves, you're allowed to make a picture on this independent, this interim agreement kind of a reality. So I made a couple of those during the strike. So I'm doing fine. Keeping my head above water and waiting for better days ahead, which I think are right around the corner.
They'll come sooner or later.
yes.
I have a question for you about Hellboy. How many hours of makeup was that process?
So it was 4 hours of makeup every day, except for the days where I was shirtless, and then that was 6 hours.
Jeez.
And it was 1 hour to get cleaned up.
Only 1 hour to get cleaned up.
Yeah, that's because I had a lot of drinking to do, you know. So I made them. Sometimes I just left the gig with the makeup on.
Yeah.
Did you?
Went to the
The
local
bar is
went to the
Hellboy.
local
You
bar.
went into the bar and I go, oh, hi, Ron.
I got really good service.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Really good service.
Oh God. Yeah, you wouldn't like me when I'm mad. You don't want to ignore me.
Brought the gun and everything.
Jesus. Yeah, that was a high watermark for you, I would think, because I saw it and I was like, oh hell yes. I mean, that's every now and then they get it right, and that was perfect casting, perfect timing, perfect care. I mean, perfect. You were amazing.
Thank you.
I thought it was the
I
damnedest thing.
so lucky to have been in the very first film of this young Mexican director named Guillermo del Toro.
He's been struggling through.
Tiny little vampire movie that he made when he was 26 years old in Mexico City, and called Kronos. And then some years later, he said, I want to do this comic book character called Hellboy, and you're the one I want. And it took him 7 years to get the movie financed with me in it because I wasn't bankable or wasn't considered, nameable of the title, especially the star of a comic book franchise. And he just spent 7 years saying, sorry, I won't make it with him, I won't make it with him, I won't make it with him, this is what I want. And so I was the recipient of something that I've never seen before, and I don't think it's anything I'll ever see again. It's like one guy's so dogged determination to make it his way. He had a kind of a vision of what the kind of tone of the character needed to be. He was, conceiving a superhero who was a complete underachiever, slob, schmuck who liked to watch Marx Brothers movies and play with cats and eat pizza. And let's face it, when you narrow it down to that, there is nobody better than me.
There you have it.
And he knew it.
By God,
He
you were
knew
right.
it. Goddamn, he fought for it, but he got it done after 7 years.
Yeah.
Wow, that I had no idea.
And it was
that kind of background.
It was a game changer. It just, it's like
I would think, yeah.
as hard as it was to get the guys who write the checks to wrap their brain around me playing that role, that's as dramatic a reaction as one got, when it came out and the public got to see it. So it was Yeah, it was a phenomenal
Yeah.
opportunity.
Would you say that that's like among your biggest or the biggest commercial success? Or
Yeah, commercial. I
Gotta
mean,
be.
that and Sons were
Sure.
the two biggest commercial successes, and the ones that were most mainstream. A lot of wonderfully peripheral, artsy fartsy successes along the way, but nothing that resonated enough to be game changers. Whereas Hellboy was on a huge
Yeah.
stage, it was a comic book franchise, and Guillermo had already established himself by that point as being a force of nature. So I got all of the toys that came with that.
Yeah. Boy, that's not bad. Huh?
Yeah. Luck, again. I mean, have a friend like that.
Well, I remember Quest for Fire, right? And the name of the Rose.
Name of the Rose,
You
yeah.
had a lot of interesting characters. It's so cool. I mean, your resume is like, oh, that was so cool. Oh, I remember that. Oh, that one was really. Oh, he was really good in this. That's what it feels like when you look down your. That's good stuff. That is good stuff.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite project that you've ever worked on?
And again, not wanting to sound disingenuous, but what Jim was saying, like, for an actor to have played so many characters that were like really like mind-blowingly interesting and cool, it's impossible to pick one. I would say there was a period there from 2013 to 2018 where I had my own production company and I was producing my own projects. And the very first project that came across our desk was called Asher. It was a story of an Israeli assassin living in New York, just killing people. You don't even know why or who. And that was really hard to get made. And I crawled on our bellies to get it made, and finally lost a lot of money. We're supposed to start shooting it, had to get canceled. So finally made that, and that was the biggest sense of accomplishment I've ever had, because that was against all odds. It was a tiny little movie. To this day, no one has seen it. So I'm not telling you it's my favorite because it was a success, because it wasn't. No one has seen it.
No one has seen it, like it hasn't.
But
been
I've seen it
released, or
I've seen it. I know what went into getting it finally fucking done, and
but it was released, right? You mean
sort of?
You're like exaggerating that nobody's seen it.
No, it was sort of released, but it really wasn't. Like these little distribution companies, they give you no money, not even close to what you spent on the picture, and they don't do any advertising, so no one knew it even existed.
Right.
And they take their cut, and that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the nature of the beast, huh?
Show business.
Yeah, well, it's one of those learning experiences.
Yeah.
Like, the School of Hard Knocks,
Yeah.
where you do all of your really important learning.
Yeah.
Your teeth
Grinded
knocked
truth.
out.
Do you mind telling that story of how you came to be on a role on Archer again? Can you tell that for the audience?
So, I was on a show, the Sons of Anarchy was on FX. And FX, like all the networks, there's a thing in Hollywood called Critics Week, where the critics come out and they take every network and they have all the stars of all the networks, and they have press conferences and stuff. And then, network throws a big party. So FX threw this party at the Ritz-Carlton in Pasadena. And there were thousands of people there, critics and directors and producers and stars, and And at the end of the night, I was at the last table. Everybody had gone home. It was like 1:45 in the morning, and I'm sitting at this table. I don't even know who I'm sitting with. I'm drunk out of my mind. And I said to this one guy, I said, "So what do you do?" He says, "Well, I got this new show on FX. It's an animated series." And I go, "Animated series on FX?" He goes, "Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of like an adult, animated series. It's the first one that's ever going to be on the network." And I said, "Well, I don't know if you realize this, but I'm the premier voice actor in America. Obviously, hoping they'd never heard of Jim Cummings.
Yeah.
And the guy said, "Oh, really? You are?" I said, "Yep, number one." He goes, "Wow, that's really good to know." And 2 weeks later, I get a call from my voiceover agent. She said, "Were you at a party with a guy from Archer? Because he's offering you this role he wrote, playing a gay Cuban spy." And
Typical.
And I knew that he was like,
Typecast
let's
again.
find out exactly how premier you are, because you're going to now play a gay Cuban spy. And I go, yeah, I don't have that in me. That's not part of my repertoire.
Yeah. But for the right amount of money.
He tested me, and we ended up having a great time. And then they invited the character back a couple of times after that. So it was, I fooled them. I fooled them again.
That's wonderful. Cuban spy. Gosh, I knew I should have never turned that role down. Damn it. Apparently it was well received. Well, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's great.
So what do you think now, man? What's do we have anything on the books that we can see you in? I think I've asked a variation of this.
A couple of things that I was really looking forward to have come out during the strike.
Mm-hmm.
One of which I was like the title character, but I'm not allowed to promote anything.
Oh, that's
Right.
Okay.
So the movie came and went. I wasn't able to even share with anybody that I was in it, not at least publicly.
Yeah.
But what do I have coming up? I have another movie, big movie with Matt Damon and
I've heard of him.
Casey Affleck coming up, which I'm also not allowed to promote. So
What was it like working with
I
Matt
can't
Damon?
tell you the name of it. Phenomenal guy.
Yeah.
Terrific guy. As nice as the day is long, man. And fun and smart.
Yeah.
And really
Oh,
cool
that's
to
good.
be around.
He seems really dedicated to his craft. Like I've
very
never-
dedicated.
Yeah.
He loves being an actor. And
Yeah.
he loves other actors. And he loves, like, shooting the shit like we're doing here. I mean, he could just do that with you, hours and hours and hours on end.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's hysterical. Well, man, I
Yeah.
can't thank you enough for coming here and doing this.
Hey, thanks. This has been a thrill, bro. Hanging
Yeah,
with
man.
you and reminiscing, and
Yeah.
we're still here.
Yeah, and we're still here.
Yeah, this has been great. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for
Let me.
giving me the
Can I
mic.
ask one more question before we
hey.
wrap things up?
I guess we're not saying goodbye after.
Well,
all.
no,
Yeah,
hey,
no.
There's
I'm
always
good.
one guy.
I'm
with
calling
one
it
more
off.
fucking
That's
question.
one guy. That's right.
One guy.
I just want to
Give
know
him a little
what
champagne. Look what happens.
what Charlie Hunnam is like as a co-star.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely love the guys from that show.
Yeah.
And Charlie and I were born 4 days and 30 years apart. But, as much as I believe in that astrology bullshit, when I met him, I saw my younger self, a guy who was full of idealism and righteous indignation about things and stuff. And so I kind of always took him on as my kid brother.
Right
Beautiful, beautiful guy. Beautiful guy.
Yeah. Yeah. He seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Tell him to text me back.
Okay.
He keeps ghosting me.
Yeah.
He said
Have
he
you
wants
met
to.
him?
I have a few times.
And he ghosts you.
Yeah. He said he wants to be on the podcast, and then
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This past weekend. I was
I'll text him when I leave here and tell him I just got finished doing it.
please do.
I said, avoid them
Yeah,
like
you,
the
you
plague.
saw him in Providence, right?
Yeah. So I'm in Providence. We met for the first time in Salt Lake City, and
Right.
we went up to that. You've done that convention?
Yeah.
Up at that mansion party up there.
I didn't go to the party, but
No.
I've done the convention.
Yeah.
But I know those guys who throw the party
Right. Yeah.
and who produce the show.
Yeah. Yeah. But we talked for a while. He's a really nice guy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good guy.
but he's ghosting me. My ego's hurt.
Shit happens.
Fecal matter occurs.
But yeah, I had to get that in there. So
Well, you know what they say, right?
what's that?
you're nobody until you've been ghosted by Charlie Hunnam.
Oh,
Oh, wow! You finally made
I
it.
guess I made it then.
Damn.
You've never heard that?
You hear that, folks?
Life is good.
You've never heard that? Oh, well, I'm glad I could oblige.
Oh man, that's wonderful. God bless you, buddy. Thank you so much
God
for
bless
being
you,
here.
Jim.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
Yeah, may we continue to live long and prosper and all that good
Let
stuff.
me know when this thing drops so I can.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, I'll grab your number and contact information after this.
He's got all that, so
Yeah, got it.
you're welcome to pass
Now
it
you're,
along.
you're pre-ghosting me? You
I'm telling you right now, I'm not getting back to you. I'm not even going to ghost you. I'm giving you fair warning.
Yeah, that's right. That's all right.
You did mention you're producing stuff now, so if
There you go.
you ever need a,
Yeah.
you know,
Of course.
that's my
That's
shameless plug.
That's right. Shameless plug. Have
If I ever
have
need
acting
somebody
talent,
really
will
tall,
travel.
really good looking, which
Hey,
right,
I'll
right off the
audition.
bat, you piss me off.
I'll audition.
when you look as good as you do and you're that tall and lean and
Oh,
shit.
stop.
So you have 2 hours to stop that, right? It's the old.
Yeah, but thank you so much for being here. This is a lot of fun.
Pleasure, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ron Perlman, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it.
So you got Zach Levi.